Praise be Jesus and Mary. Today we honor a great saint of modern times, St John Bosco. He was born on August 16th, 1815, near Turin, northern Italy, of a poor farming family. He was the youngest of 3 boys. He lost his father when he was just 2 years old, and so this left his saintly mother, Margaret, to care for the children and provided them with an excellent human and Christian education. At about the age of 9 or so, in little John's heart, there was stirrings for the priestly vocation. And at about the same time, he grew in a desire to help other poor young boys. Even mysterious dreams helped him, directed him. One of a series of many dreams that would help him throughout his life, guiding him, God using dreams in this way. In this dream, he found himself in the midst of a crowd of young, poor boys, but they were quarreling, they were blaspheming and fighting, causing a ruckus and so forth. And he desired to help them, quiet them down, but was unable to do so until he had help from a man who appeared on the scene, a man of noble bearing, and advised him, you will have to win these friends of yours, not with blows, but with gentleness and kindness. So begin right now to show them that sin is ugly and virtue beautiful. During his childhood and adolescence, John would win the esteem of his peers by performing various shows for them. When a circus came to town, John had studied well, the performers, learned a thing from them, and made it part of his, his little apostolate, reaching out to young people, performing acrobatic stunts, juggling and performing magical tricks, and desired to include the faith in that, and somehow praying before and after each performance. And the grand finale would be bring them to church and teach them catechism. It's a wonderful method, very successful. As a teenager, he met a young priest, a saint, St Joseph Cafasso. He was known as the Saint of the Gallows, who helped many inmates, prisoners. And St. Joseph Cafasso noticed, greatness in little John, and guided him as a confessor and spiritual director, and encouraged him in the direction of the priesthood, and to set about with his studies and so forth. At age 16, John entered the minor seminary in Chieri, and then at age 20, he transferred to the major seminary in Turin, and in 1841 was ordained to the priesthood. From that time onward, he would be known as Don Bosco. Don is the title for diocesan priests in Italy and other parts of Europe. Don Bosco. His first assignment was as a chaplain to an all-girls boarding school, and in his spare time, he visited prisoners, as well as taught catechism and helped out in many of the country parishes. And soon thereafter, he would open what he called festive oratories. These would be kind of like recreation centers for youth, especially young poor boys, places that they can go to enjoy, a certain festive spirit, recreation, combined with some teaching of religion and prayer, oratories. And so you'd also provide them with an education, based on reason, religion, and loving kindness. These 3 things, the main ingredients, you could say. Using also what he would call a preventive pedagogy. A preventive pedagogy. That is, prevent the youths from the corruption of evils, and then protect them by means of comprehensive understanding, respect for their freedom, and inculcating in them moral, religious values. As Don Bosco put it, we should see these boys as our own sons. Be at their service. Don't be overbearing with them. This was how Jesus was with the apostles. He put up with their roughness, their ignorance, and even their unfaithfulness. He treated sinners with such kindness that some were shocked, others scandalized, and others hoped for God's mercy. So he wants us to be gentle and humble of heart. So being gentle and loving, humble towards the children, winning over their hearts. Other priests joined Don Bosco in this work right away, and even some of the pupils, at the oratories, the young men, especially those who had a desire for the priesthood, joined him, and this would form the nucleus of the new religious community, the Society of St. Francis de Sales, also known as the Salesians. Later, with St. Maria Domenica Mazzarello, Don Bosco founded a group of religious sisters known as the Daughters of Mary Auxiliatrix, and they carried on the same kind of work with girls. The laity also became involved in this work and formed the Salesian Cooperators. And the Salesians, they spread rapidly in Turin and Italy and then throughout the world. They were filled with a missionary spirit, and they lived out the motto of the society, which is a beautiful motto, Da mihi animas, cetera tolli tibi. That is, give me only souls and keep all the rest. Give me only souls and keep all the rest. Don Bosco died on January 31st, 1888. Pope Pius XI beatified him in 1929 and canonized him in 1934. And he was given the title Father and Teacher of Youth. St. John Bosco is important for us because all of us should have a great concern for the education of our children and young people. And today we need the help, the inspiration that can come from St. John Bosco and his method of reaching out to young people. So for today, it's so important. There are children, who are, suffering, struggling with poverty, delinquency, crime, abuse, broken homes, and now the abuse that comes from a society and culture that seeks to bombard them or impose on them, the grossest of errors, ideologies, and immorality. So parents, educators, catechists, youth ministers, pastors, and all those who want to see our young people really thrive, be truly happy, healthy, holy, which should be all of us, will find in Don Bosco a great heavenly ally whose simple yet powerful message is as timely as ever. That message is, in his own words, the young should know that they are loved. The young should know that they are loved. Praise be Jesus and Mary.
Fructum ventris tui,